Thank you.
Now, the World Bank says its climate financing grew 10% from the previous year. It comes up to $42 billion last year. That's 44% of the bank's total. It's in line with the World Bank's annual goal, though it's far short of the trillions needed for clean energy transition. One of the world's biggest commercial banks, Citi, is providing the finance for major projects in the energy sector. Zero net emissions is the goal, associated by 2050. A group of New York climate activists said that's too little, too late. Paula Newton reports they want Citi to pull all financing of new fossil fuel projects immediately.
I hear the voice of my great-granddaughter.
Through a long, hot, and combative summer,
Hey, Citi, get off it! Put planet over profit!
climate protesters raise their voices and raise the stakes, week after week, provoking Citi, one of America's largest banks, rallying, trespassing, blocking doors, storming the entrance, tactically and unapologetically displaying civil disobedience and inviting arrest.
Did you expect to get arrested today?
Yes. If that's what it takes to get people's attention, we are willing to do that. We are willing to put our bodies on the line to save the planet for our grandchildren.
Conceived as the summer of heat, activists have targeted Citi, emblematic, they say, of an industry that is the lifeblood of fossil fuels. The tactics are deliberately aggressive.
We've never done anything like this before, and we hope that our actions are provoking the conversation that will ultimately force Citibank and other Wall Street financial institutions to address this grave injustice of their role in worsening the climate crisis.
Cellist and activist John Mark Rosendahl typifies the new strategy. In defiance of a restraining order, he plays on.
We needed it to demonstrate our nonviolent intentions on that day.
And yet it was against a restraining order. Why do that?
The intent of the restraining order is to intimidate us. The intent of the restraining order is to suppress nonviolent protest.
Citi says it was not involved with the restraining order. It was requested by a member of Citi's security team and has since been dropped. Citi denies it is intimidating anybody and points out that their plaza in front of their New York City headquarters is a place where peaceful protest is allowed.
We respect their passion, but there's a way to express that consistent with the law, and we have the space for them to do that.
Organizers with Summer of Heat say the climate crisis is so urgent, they must pivot to civil disobedience because nothing else has worked.
And there's a reason that we're blocking the doors to Citibank's headquarters, because it's a laser-targeted campaign with the intention of getting those who are responsible for this crisis to do something about it.
At issue here is whether or not protests like this are effective. Citi says they won't be.
There's no middle ground, because their position is you need to stop financing fossil fuels right now. We think, and that's not possible. We think that's really, more idealistic than pragmatic. And so what we've done is embark upon a strategy of being net zero by 2050 and making a $1 trillion commitment to sustainable investments.
Beyond the drama of a heated summer of protests lies another crucial question. Why target those who finance the fossil fuel industry?
It won't be possible to achieve the Paris Agreement target without a change in the way the financial sector operates. What we need from big banks, including Citi, is a clear stop in their financing to fossil fuel expansion.
Princeton is with Reclaim Finance, an NGO tracking the money that goes into fossil fuels. Under the Paris Agreement, many countries and companies agreed to substantially reduce global greenhouse gas emissions to enable the long-term global average surface temperature to increase to no more than 1.5 degrees Celsius. Citi says it has pledged to, quote, help drive the transition to a net zero economy and make good on the promise of the Paris Agreement. But the UN now says despite those pledges, the world is heading for a temperature rise far above the Paris Agreement goals, which is why activists say they are bringing the problem to the doorstep of banks, and Citi in particular. Paula Newton, CNN, New York.